Okay, thank you very much, Inga. I think I should present myself to you all. I'm a youth worker. I work at Gargždų Youth Center. And we are doing some kind of a mission here. We try to help young people to change a bit their attitude to some of the topics we are discussing. And it's going to be very nice to discuss with you about how foreigners feel here in our country, because there are a lot of stereotypes that foreign people face to. And we also have in our center 2 volunteers that are volunteering in our center, and maybe they will ask questions too, because we also face with some stereotypes in our country. So it would be great if they will share their own opinion.
Thank you, Ramona. I think it's good you can share your screen.
Yes, for sure. Is it okay?
Yes. So it looks like I do not need to ask, do everybody can understand in English? From your names, I can guess. I think so that everybody you can understand in English. So our discussion will be in English. And Özgür, can you introduce Human Library, or I should do this?
Maybe you can do it better than me.
Okay, switch next slide.
Yeah.
Yes. So Human Library is a non-formal human rights education method, which is based on that through telling real stories, we are implementing stereotypes and growing up for some kind of social groups, especially for social vulnerable groups. So, for example, we are not saying that everybody of us need to be really nice, kind, smile, and respect everybody, and to respect, for example, for all foreigners. But we are saying that, look, not all foreigners are similar, just everybody of them is different human. They have different lives, different stories, and different dreams. So that's on what Human Library is based on. And Gargždų Youth Center asked us to join their big conference and to talk about tolerance for foreigners. So Özgür will manage this discussion. Özgür.
Yes, thank you. Hello, everyone. So I should start with presenting myself. My name is Özgür Deniz. I'm from Turkey, and I'm 22 years old, and I'm an English language teacher. So today we will talk about why foreigners need to prove their value. This will be my first moderation of a meeting, so if I make any mistakes, please forgive me. Now, at first, I would like to start with common travel types to another country. I will be talking briefly. So, why do we travel to another country? It can be about study, for work, or migration, or it can be also just for tourism purposes. It has many subcategories, but mainly they are holiday, honeymoon, or sports tourism. There are many subcategories, as I said, and especially Lithuania. There are a few ways to enter Lithuania. The first one, the easiest one, is Lithuania is a Schengen area country, and people from Schengen area can enter Lithuania without doing anything, basically. And if you're not from Schengen area, you will need a visa and a temporary residence permit. There many countries in the world who needs a Schengen visa, and there are many countries, including the European Union. I mean, most of the European Union who don't need a Schengen visa. So you can also enter Lithuania as an asylum seeker if you are experiencing war, violence, or persecutions in your home country. You can ask for asylum, and you can travel to Lithuania to be safe here. After Lithuania proves that you are unsafe in your home country, you will be titled as a refugee, and you can also enter Lithuania illegally. But if you do this way, you will have no rights at all.
It's not at all. Sorry, switch off my voice.
It's okay.
My question.
We will have questions for you.
Yeah, so I talked to our participants before. We had a small chat. So I asked them, what are the strangest questions you have ever received? And some of them said, I haven't received a strange question. Some of them said, why are you not married? By the way, these questions are asked by local Lithuanians. Please keep that in mind. And a lot of people wants to know, why are you really in Lithuania? So this is, I guess, the most asked question to foreigners. Somebody got asked, why are you not arrogant? And are you Muslim? Are you here for money? And are you Native American? Kind of questions. Okay, the second question I asked to our participants, do you think Lithuanians trust in foreigners? Quite diverse answers here. Some think so, some think yes, they do. Somebody even thinks sometimes they trust too much. So we will talk about these. Okay, we gathered some newspaper headlines. So I'll just read them for you. A man from Libya thinks that Lithuania is a stable, nutty, and rapidly evolving country. So, and Iranians think that the main uniqueness of Lithuania is their people. So, as you can see, foreigners are actually can actually realize things here. So they are not passive, but rather active. But interesting thing is that Syrians think that Lithuanians only look grumpy. I believe that the headlines, the newspaper affect how people think, how local people think. So we will think about this more in the future, but I would like to say, I don't think all Syrians think that Lithuanians are grumpy, right? So integration for Mexicans in Lithuania wasn't difficult. So some people are having difficulties, some maybe not, but why? Indians have a lot of friends in Lithuania, and Samson from Nigeria says, I am trying to show that Lithuania is not Russia. So he's aware of this fact. So good for him. And let's move on. Now it's time for our guests. Please, could you introduce yourselves briefly? Any volunteers?
I can do that. My name is Jakob. I'm 27 years old. So this is an age where you don't mention your age again anymore. But yeah, I study in Lithuania since 3 months, and I will stay for another couple of months. And I study at the Technical University. I study architecture.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Hi, I'm Sankar Bandari, all the way from Nepal, South Asian country. I'm here since 2016. It's been almost like 5 years. I have spent already 4 winters in Lithuania, and I'm pursuing a PhD in agricultural mechanical engineering, and it's my second year. So talking about Lithuania, it feels like a home since I'm living here since last 5 years. I have made a lot of friends from around the world and the globe. So in between these 5 years, I was in Denmark for 1 year for the work purpose. Then I went back to my country. Then I started missing my friends, and I opportunities. Being from the third world country, we always seek for the opportunities what is the best. So Lithuania was the option. I came back to the Lithuania, and I feel good.
Wonderful.
That's good. Could you stop sharing your
screen? My bad, true. I was supposed to. Yeah, my bad. Yes, now it's better. Okay, who's next?
Okay, I think everyone can hear me well.
We can.
Yeah, I'm Lanka. So the past 3 years I've been living in Lithuania as an asylum seeker, or else you can call it refugee.
Nice to meet you, Darshan.
Nice meeting you all.
Oh, I think me?
Yes.
So I'm Vincent. I'm living here for already 11 years, but I spent many times in Lithuania before. I speak local language, and currently have a little cafe near Kernel. And I'm not young, I'm 44 years old.
Nice to meet you, Vincent.
Nice to meet you.
Yes, please.
Hello, my name is Tuba. I'm coming from Turkey and I'm 24. And I'm a volunteer in animal shelter, Lese, and I have been here 3 months. That's it.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Okay, my name is Max. I'm from Germany, and I study here at VGTU. I came here 3 months ago, and I will probably stay 1 or 2 more months.
Hello, Max. I know him before. He's my flatmate.
Yeah, my name is Finn. I'm 19. I'm also from Germany. I'm here for 3 months, and I will stay 9 more months. And I volunteer in Gargždų, atviras, jaunimo, centras with Ramune. And that's how I came here in this conference.
Nice.
So hello.
Hello. Yeah.
My name is Florian, and I am from Albania, and I am 22 years old. And I also volunteered at Gargždų Youth Center with Fen and Ramon. And it's tonight is my first month being here. So it's quite nice. Even I had some challenge to be here in Lithuania, but it's still nice.
Thank you. Nice to meet you, Florian.
Hi, everyone. I'm
Hello.
Alejandra. I am from Nicaragua. I'm 23 years old, and I'm studying here also architecture in KTU, and I've been here for a month already.
Welcome. Nice to meet you, Alejandra. Is this all? Is this everybody?
I think I should go.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's me again. My name is Julie, and I'm from Taiwan. I'm 32 years old. So the question, why are you still not married and with kids? That was from my colleagues, and I get asked it almost every day. I've been in Lithuania for 3 years now, and I have been working and living in Kaunas at Vytautas Magnus University. And this autumn, I just started my PhD in education, and I'm also working on some side projects. So if anyone is ever in Kaunas, I know Alejandra is in Kaunas, but I'm assuming that most of you guys are in Vilnius. So I guess it's a different experience of a Lithuanian experience, because Kaunas is something else that we can talk about later. Thanks.
Thank you. Nice to meet you. Yes, I heard that. I really want to travel to Canada sometime. Okay, everyone. I guess that was everyone, right? So again, I guess we can start the question. Are there any nationalities that you have the most stereotypes? So we know that we are from very diverse countries, from Asia to Americas to Europe. So I'll give you 30 seconds to think about the stereotypes that you have about any country.
So you mean like, do I think of any stereotypes, or do Lithuanians think of any stereotypes?
No, does your nationality have any stereotypes about any country, any nationality?
It's simple for us, just white, black, brown.
Would you like to elaborate on this? Why just black, brown, and
no,
white?
For a country like us in Sri Lanka, there's nothing much like for us to say. It's been for centuries and centuries, it's been colonialism. So for us, there is nothing new, or we don't mostly stereotype any people, because for us it's a common thing. There's so much tourism going on there, so it's a normal thing. We don't normally stereotype anyone.
Interesting point. Anybody else?
Yeah, well, I just thought a bit about it, and well, I would assume that I have probably have like myself, probably about more about the countries that I haven't been visiting. So, for example, China is a place I haven't visited at all, and like the political situation for me, for example, it also applies to Turkey. We chatted about that earlier, Özgür. And yeah, the countries I don't know that well, I have like some, I don't know, weird thoughts about that sometimes.
Thank you.
I don't know. Me, I travel so much that after all those travels, that I see that people are almost the same everywhere. You know, there's no really different. People want almost the same things, except some people who are a bit different. But most of the time, they want to be happy. They want to have a family. They want to have job and money. It's almost the main things you can find anywhere. So for me as well, stereotype, it's very hard to imagine right now. It's just like this, you know, experiencing with traveling. That's it.
Yeah. Well, I personally share some different thoughts about this, but I don't know if Tuba would agree on this. But I think, for example, I am from Turkey, and we have many stereotypes about many countries in the world. I can say the Arabs are the nationality that we have most stereotypes about. Although most of them are wrong, which I heard from other people. They're in the everyday talk, and you can't simply get rid of them. What do you think, Tuba?
Yeah, I can agree with you. How can I say? I'm a little bit excited now, but I agree with you, because I don't know, sometimes the people maybe mix Turkey and Arabic culture and rules. I don't know why, but sometimes like this.
Yes, I have encountered such problems before, that Turkish people can understand Arabic language as well, which is totally wrong. Okay, I will move to second question now. Now we will hear your country's customs, kind of thing. how foreigners are received in your country? So I can start, maybe. In Turkey, we are crazy about foreigners. We offer many things, even if they don't want to. For example, tea. Not everybody drinks tea, but offering tea in Turkey is a must. You have to offer a tea or sometimes coffee, but tea is more common. And you would be a bad person if you don't drink this tea. You should drink it if you ever go there. And Turkish hospitality is, I don't know if you heard about it or know about this, but many people believe that Turkish hospitality is a different hospitality than anywhere in the world. So people are very, how do you say? People really like their stay in Turkey and how people react to foreigners. It's they just embrace those people. What about Germany? Would you explain?
Yeah, I think sometimes the Germans can be a little difficult with foreigners, because I think Germany is a country where people already know a lot of other cultures in their surroundings. There are many Turkish people living there, and other nationalities as well. So when new people come from other countries and they are not for touristic reasons there, I think right now, especially in the last years, the Germans have been not so happy, which is very unfortunate. But yeah, I think it is like that.
Yeah, I think there's not like a tradition in Turkey like offering stuff. So Germans usually stay distant when meeting like new people from new countries, and they need some time, to adjust and to see how they like behave and how they think. It's kind of, for me, it's like same as, I don't want to like talk to culture are quite similar in, meeting new people. So it's more like being guided and see how they act. And, if you want to get like closer to Germans, they need some time. And, I think that's,
yeah, I think that's like a stereotype of Germans, but it's not completely wrong.
Yeah.
I can even add something. I think because of a lot of Albanians, for example, they travel to Germany, and I guess there are a lot of them just working there, and it's like kind of hard to deal with all those foreigners when they want to go in your country and they want to just go and work there, all of them. I understand, because my nationality, for example, has like a story when they have been like repeating, like going for asylum, for example, but still it's kind of hard to deal with those things. And that's it's not like a stereotype. I think it's like it's a bit hard to deal with those foreigners that come in those countries, like Germany, for example, or France, or a lot of countries.
I would like to say something about that, because I think we also discussed it before, Özgür, when we just touched the topic a bit on your balcony once. And that I find this idea of a diverse cultural or a diverse culture of a country, I find it 100% normal. And especially like when we say, okay, foreigners are not all the same, I think that's true, but also people within a country are not all the same and are very diverse. And I think that's really, for me, that's the thing, what's good about Germany, that it's somehow a diverse country.
I can speak a little bit on the Latin American side. At least for us foreigners, they're like, we're very much welcome. We already treat them like family because we are very warm people. So whenever we got foreigners, it's like we get really happy, really excited. So we invite them even to our houses to visit places. We always try to make them feel comfortable, and so that they also have like a good experience.
Yeah. Yes, please.
I would like to speak for the Taiwanese. We really appreciate guests. I think it's partly because we are an island, so we're not really a place that people would pass by, you know, during a transition or when they're like transiting to a different country, they have to want to come here to be able to be there. So when people do arrive in Taiwan, I think it's a lot of hospitality. It's being voted like one of the safest capitals in the world for expats. I think it's also to do with our post-colonial, these kind of mentalities, because we've been, I wouldn't say colonized, but we've had many different European countries, you know, being part of our history. So then it is a lot of hospitality, a lot of food. I know every culture stresses that food is how they show, how they appreciate their guests. But there are almost, I cannot say for all the countries that's even present today, but for many of the countries, I can think of a themed restaurant that exists probably in the capital city in Taipei. There's even a Lithuanian bar there. And I think it was open last autumn. And as soon as it was opened, all of the Taiwanese people started inviting Lithuanians there, as if they don't know what to expect in the Lithuanian bar. You know, they're just like really keen on showing them that I guess everybody has a space, you know, and are allowed to be themselves in our country. So you're not expected to learn the customs of the locals, but you are allowed to be you. And I think that's a very beautiful thing. Thanks.
So I can say something about Nepal, as the economic source of Nepal is mainly based on the tourism. We encounter most of the tourism every day from the different part of the world. Before, I used to say, my dad used to say, before 10-15 years, tourists used to come, and our hospitality, as we used to introduce them a free food, free stay, but the time has changed now. Everything is well established, like homestay is there. There is no much restaurants in the remote part of the Nepal, because 90% of the part of the Nepal is remote. If you want to see the real face of the Nepal, you need to go to remote where even there is. So the thing has changed. We encountered a lot of tourists from the different part of the world, from all the continent and subcontinents. So regarding the knowing about the cultures and all, from the very childhood, I was very much aware about the different cultures and different peoples around the world.
As far as I understood, many countries are actually happy to see foreigners and they welcome them.
It's good.
Yes.
Can we ask Lithuanians to tell how do we look to foreigners? Because we have here Vasarė.
I was just going to ask the same thing.
From your names, I understood that you are Lithuanians. How do you think? Oh, Vasarė gone. Okay, Ramone. So tell us.
Very sorry, can you repeat the question?
The question was how Lithuanians look to foreigners.
Actually, it is kind of individual attitude to foreign people. Here in Lithuania, we have that attitude that it is kind of hard to explain. Sometimes we want foreigners to come here in Lithuania and try to involve as much as possible, but sometimes we just try to neglect that they want to come here and we try not to accept them. So I think it is because of stereotypes that are very common here in Lithuania. We have a lot of them. And one of our volunteers, I think it's Finn, asked me why people in here in Lithuania in the shop centers are so sad and not smiling all the time. So I was telling to him that it is not because of you, not because you are from other country. It's just the mentality of our Lithuanian people. It's not just for all of us, but it is very common. We are like this, and and that's it. So yeah, that's it from me.
Any other Lithuanian?
Okay, I can talk.
Yes, please.
So I do not meet a lot of people from another countries. Like Finn and Florian are the only ones I think I have met, except from Ukraine. I have met a lot of people, and well, for the fact that Lithuanians are very, I guess, sad all the time. My expression is always a monotone. I do not have a smile on my normal face, so I just smile to people I have met, and because that's hard. And I don't know. I have nothing against new people from another countries. I just do not talk English very much, and it's hard for me. So that's all.
I have a question for you. Do you wonder why foreigners come to Lithuania?
I actually have no idea because, well, we do not get many people from other countries because, well, Lithuania is more like, I guess, is always compared to Russia. We have a lot of things about ourselves that are special, but our country is real small. So I don't know, actually. That's a great question.
So my next question would be, why did you choose Lithuania to our foreigners? So
I am Lithuanian.
No, to foreigners, not you.
Oh.
This famous question goes to our foreigners. And to me as well. I'm a foreigner too. So what do you think? Why did you choose Lithuania?
Can I say?
Yeah, for sure.
To be frank, I didn't choose.
Okay.
To be frank at all, I had no idea there's a country called Lithuania existed before I even came here. So as a refugee, I was dropped here. That's it. But I felt like from the day I've been here, like for 3 years, I don't find it hard for me to survive. I found a new home here, that's all.
Anybody else?
I can say,
why?
I met my partner when I was volunteering in Poland with Rotary International about 5 years ago. And because we're part of the many various international service projects, so we kept on meeting each other because we were quite active. He convinced me to apply for a scholarship at Vytautas Magnus University, and I did. So then I stayed for a summer, and then he convinced me to apply for a job at the university, and I did. So I stayed for a year, and then it just sort of snowballed. So yeah, I think if I think about it, I see it as sort of a destiny, because both Lithuania and Taiwan are so small countries comparing to our neighbors. Lithuania's population is what, 3 million, 2.8. Taiwan is at 23 million, but we are still relatively small comparing to our neighbors. So yeah, I see it as an ultimate sort of limited edition encounter, because what are the odds, right? So yeah, that's my story.
So on the question on regards to why Lithuania, the first thing will be the career opportunity. Either it's a work or education. I came as a student, and now I'm working as a researcher. That is the first. And second thing, as Julie said, is a destiny. I have never thought in my life that I'll be staying here in Lithuania for 5 years and maybe 5 more years. So, and the second thing is I always wanted to explore European culture. So as I said, Nepal is a tourism country. We used to meet most of the people from the Europe. They were very much relaxed, different culture, their ideologies were different. And I wanted to know, oh, what's going on there? I want to go to Europe one day. So destiny brings me here. I'm in Lithuania. Thank you.
Well, in my case, why I chose Lithuania? Well, as a person that has traveled into quite a few places already. And while searching a bachelor, you try to look for like quite experience. And after finding the university I'm at the moment, and then seeing that the country itself offers so many opportunities for foreigners to integrate with the people, to learn from different cultures, learn from different places, also allows you to have exchanges into other countries. So I think that was like something that caught my attention a lot, and that I thought it was going to be, how to say, something good for me to learn and to experience. And so far, actually, I can say that it has worked. Even it's just a month, but I have been able to meet so many different people, have been able to interact with many Lithuanian people, which have been kind. And I've learned a lot from the culture so far. So I think I made a good choice on that. So that's basically why.
Glad to hear this.
Maybe I can explain, because this question is really big for me. Everybody asks why Lithuanian, and I have no idea, because I choose just project. I didn't choose country name. And when they turned back to me, I was very happy. Okay, finally I found a volunteer project, and I saw the country name, and what? Where is Lithuania? Where? I don't know. I had no idea, and I opened the map. I saw the location. Oh my God, it's really far away from Turkey. And at first time, I was a little bit scared, because weather is completely different from Turkey. But now, everything is okay.
In my case, the answer was very simple. I liked basketball, and Lithuanians love basketball. So it can be very different from people to people. I mean, it can be as simple as I love basketball, so does Lithuanians, or very complex, like Darshan said, I was dropped here, so yeah, very different reasons to be here. But it's a common thing that we all love to be here. Am I right? Yeah, nice to see people nodding. Yeah, great.
Oscar, is it right?
Yes.
Okay.
You can call me Oz. Oz.
Oz.
Yeah.
I don't want to pronounce it wrong. I can't believe you're a basketball fan and you've never been to Kaunas. Like, Kaunas Žalgiris is like, how can you not?
I was watching Žalgiris Kaunas and Fenerbahçe, my favorite team. In Kaunas was my dream, actually, but unfortunately I cannot make it right now.
It is the best. You must. It's not just a game. It's like a show. You know.
Yeah.
All these special effects.
I really wanted to go to a match, but I think I won't be able to, especially to my two favorite teams matches. And Žalgiris Kaunas has been my favorite team for 2-3 years, so it would be great for me.
Mm.
Okay, shall we jump to the next question? Our next question is rather simple. Just are climatic conditions different in Lithuania than your home country? What are the differences?
So I would say, oh, sorry.
Darshan, I will talk before you, okay? I know that you are letting me. Okay, this question I asked, it was good to ask, because for me it's always funny when people comes from warm countries and doesn't expect it that in Lithuania it could to be so cold. When Asgur come, he asked for me a few times where to buy a warm coat. I told him it's not cold yet. And he doesn't believe me, and he asked foreigners in Vilnius group where to buy a warm coat. Next very funny thing, Asgur thought that his glasses is too bad already for him. And Maria, our friend, told him that it's normal. It's normal. Your eyes is good, but the everything is gray here now in Lithuania. So you look good, but our weather makes you to feel that your eyes are bad. So I'm always laughing from this.
The reason why I was so concerned because I couldn't bring my winter jacket. It was a really big problem for me. But thankfully, a Turkish guy who found me on this specific Facebook group brought me 2 jackets. So thanks to him. Yeah, in Turkey, yes, we have cold weather. In my hometown, which is on the west of Turkey, has seen -24 last year. No, the year before, 2 years ago. So it can be as low as -25, -30 in some areas. But overall, it's very warm than Lithuania. So I was. Oh, I think I heard a sound. Okay, it was strange. So I have been to Czech Republic before, and the weather was again so cold there. But I've been here for 2 months, but I don't think it's colder than Czech Republic, to be honest. I don't know how, but Lithuania is far north, but it's somehow warmer than Czech Republic, and I can relate. I can live in this weather. It's getting warm for me too. What about? Yeah. Yes.
Oh, sorry. I think I interrupted again.
No, it's okay. No, I had finished.
Now, for me, the first time I came to Lithuania, I felt like I'm in a movie called Ice Age. Even the doorknobs were frozen where I used to live, and I was like, okay, this is fine. I can survive. I somehow. And also, it's funny, like when I say, like, compare my country, Sri Lankan weather to Lithuanian weather, when I say the coldest Sri Lanka gets is like +23, and that's actually a pretty decent summer in Lithuania.
I want to tell something about this topic. Cold weather is not a big deal for me, but where is your sun? Really? I miss sun. I didn't miss my family. I didn't miss Turkish food, nothing, but I really miss sun. Where is? Every morning I open my curtain. Oh no, again gray, foggy. How can I walk weather? I just stay at home. And where is sun? Really? Still is too hard for me without sun. How you can live without sun? I don't know. Everything my family is showing this sun weather in my country, and really I can cry. One day I will cry. Thank you.
It passes. Trust me, you'll get used to it. And I suggest vitamin D. It's really effective against coronavirus and the sun. You get vitamin D from sun, so it helps. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
talking.
Oh. Go on. Sorry.
It's okay. Okay, I'll go on first. Then talking about the climate, I think mostly we'll be talking about the winters, as we are in Lithuania. So the day I landed in Lithuania, the temperature was -25 in 2016. I was very happy to see the snow because it was new to me. Talking about the climatic condition back in my country, we have a land topography. Even we have the temperature to -50 in the winter and +50 in the summer. But I belong to the place, it's in the Himalayas, near to Himalayas, where I experienced the maximum of 30 degrees and minimum of -1 degrees. And there are basically 4 climates, weather conditions, like we experience spring, rainy, typically differentiated. Like if it is a winter season, then it's a winter, it's raining all the day, all the nights. And what I like about Lithuania is summer. Oh, summer is wonderful. I like cycling. For this summer, for like 1 month, I wake up, I had a breakfast, I went for a cycling, came back home at the night. So summer is wonderful in Lithuania. If you haven't experienced the summer in Lithuania, if you experience it later, you'll like it. Wonderful summer in Lithuania. Thank you.
Jakob?
Yeah, I feel what Tugba said. So I miss the sun a lot, and I have the impression that that's really a problem. But the temperature is not so bad. It's really like for now, it's still the same like in my home country in Germany. So I don't mind that so much.
When I was in Germany, I didn't see any sun. So is this true? Do you miss the sun as well?
Yeah. Well, I've been looking on Instagram, and now it's quite the sunny autumn, winter start in Germany, and it's kind of cold. It's like -5, I think, during the night, but at least there is some sun, so I think that's more important.
Yeah, I totally agree. Some sun would be nicer, but it's okay. Anybody else would like to talk about the weather, or we will move on to actually the most important question. Did you ever feel like you have to prove something to local people, to Lithuanians?
I would like to go. Every year I need to prove myself to migration. They're horrible. And they actually tell me in my face, they're like, I'm sorry, if you're like a truck driver or something, you know, from certain countries, it's easier for us to give you a permit to stay. But because my university studies were all in the UK, so right now there's also Brexit, so they have to like re-recognize, you know, and decide, you know, how are they going to be treating these diplomas. So then every time I have to go to migration department and Darba Birja, horrible. The only time that I feel that I need to prove myself, like really, I'm not a fraud, just like let me be. So yeah, this I feel very strongly about.
Well, I can say my opinion on this as well. Even if it's just a month, I do feel like I do have had to prove a lot, especially on my studies, especially to my classmates, since we have had a couple of group works. I do have to prove that I'm at the same level as them, especially on education, including my lecturers. Some of them, they are constantly asking like, are you up to this level? Are you same as people from here? So I'm constantly proving that educational wise, we're at the same level or at least similar level, that we are not just very low. I do have had a couple of misunderstandings in that case where some people kind of think that just because I'm from Latin America, my education isn't as good as the one from Europe. So that's something that I do have to constantly work on, or to prove myself that over that side is not always that bad. Yes.
Thank you.
So for me, it's totally different than the rest of y'all, because I think since I'm a refugee, so I have pushed myself to constantly prove myself that I'm normal, I'm not weird for them. So I need to, how can I put it? I need to represent kind of my country, because, you know, previously there were some issues that messed up my reputation as a Sri Lankan. So I had to break those things and prove that, okay, Sri Lankans are okay, they're normal. So all these things I had to prove all constantly that since I'm a refugee, I'm not here for money, and I'm educated as well. So the knowledge wise or the behavior, I'm social wise, I need to constantly prove myself.
What about people from Europe?
Yeah, I can talk for myself.
Yes,
I think I have been more than like a month, and especially like proving myself, because probably they don't know even Albania is like similar with we don't know Lithuania as well. So probably I had some problems when I wanted to go to a specific bank, for example, and they didn't even let me take my money from the bank because I'm a foreigner and I need to have a permit residential, which I have applied, but I still haven't yet. But overall, I can say that it's not that we need to prove ourselves. I understand that every country, when you go in every country, you have those things that separate you from them. But overall, I think it's like good.
Well, you know, I was quite lucky because I speak native language, so I don't think I have to prove anything. You know, I just simply live with people, and they're accepting me as the French. That's it.
Maybe it's related to my field of work. So I work in schools previously, and now I moved to university, but I work a lot with teachers. In Kaunas, I've been told that there's a certain stereotype associated to teachers being a very specific, I guess, combination of or representation of the demographics, you know, in general. Ladies, a bit older, they're grandmas already sometimes, so they're more conservative. And I guess what I had to prove is that I will stay. Because every year, you know, before we break for the summer, they always tell me, they always say goodbye to me as if I'm going to leave, because if you're qualified, if you have experience, if you're able to earn more elsewhere, then you definitely wouldn't be interested in staying. So I think it takes a while for, you know, teamwork to really happen, because sometimes colleagues don't feel very comfortable, including me, because I might take on, you know, a task or being part of a project and leave very quickly. And that is something that, yeah, I guess like one of our participants has said, I think knowing the language or trying to show that you are putting effort into learning the language definitely helps a bit. Most of the time I just laugh about it because my pronunciation is really bad, and you know, I work with teachers, so they always correct me, always. They never tell me, oh, well done, it's close. They're like, if you want to say it really precise and really accurate. But I don't think it's anything against foreigners. I think it's, you know, this pride with Lithuanian language and culture, which doesn't really exist in my country, which is sad, but we are also fairly new, so we are having to build our national identity. And I think I get to see a lot of that representation of Lithuanian identity being lived, how to say, being practiced in everyday life through these kind of representations. So, yeah.
I would like to say something about this. It's not only limited with Lithuania, but in general, this is something I have encountered or felt even before in my Erasmus studies. For most of the world, Turkey is a Muslim country, and the first question, probably the first question you receive, or one of the questions is, are you Muslim? So, there have been some moments that I had been ignored just because because they thought I'm a Muslim. I don't have to prove my beliefs, my religion to anybody in the world, but just to open up the conversation, just to get rid of some barriers. I really feel like I have to prove that I'm not a religious person so that they can talk to me. It's happened a lot that people simply went away. So I really feel the pressure sometimes. I mean, it doesn't, as I said, it's not only about Lithuania, but in also other countries too. So I think even if a person is a Muslim, you shouldn't just walk away just because you think they are Muslim. Any thoughts on this?
So what I believe is, if someone is doubting or if you need to prove yourself in regard of your religion, then it's better walk away. It's not, it doesn't worth if you prove anyway. So if you believe that every religion is equal, then only, and if you have other barriers that if another misunderstanding you need to prove, then you have to prove yourself. Otherwise, it's not worth proving yourself. That's what I believe. So in regard of proving myself, there is always a language barrier. I need to assist some of the bachelor students, and so I'm learning Lithuanian since last 1 year very seriously. So having a language is always a beneficial if you're planning to stay in the long term in Lithuania. So in order to get all the opportunities, maximum opportunities, especially if you are working here, then language is something I need to prove myself and improve myself day to day. So that's what I feel. Thank you.
I'm left speechless. Thank you, Shankar. It was a really touchy thing you said. I will keep in mind. I will keep that in mind. Thank you.
I would carry on that, and it's a strange feeling to say that, and I noticed that on some like a couple of times already, that me as a blonde German, I don't have ever the impression to face any like anyone is prejudging me on things, and I think that is really uncomfortable, or it makes me feel uncomfortable now, but it is uncomfortable for everyone else when he's affected or she's affected. So yeah, I'm quite worried about that.
Yeah, many people, Turkish people, are experiencing such thing. I believe not only me, but many other people, my friends too. My friend was in Spain, and he had similar problems, similar feelings as well.
But I think that comes even like when you go in a country that is like totally religious, like religion to Christianity, for example, they can have that issue. It might be the opposite when it happened even in Turkey. If you go in Turkey, you will be judged if you are a Catholic. So I think it's like when in those countries when they have the straight belief in those religion, they can be really hard. So I had even experience, or my friends had experience in like in Turkey, when you go as a Catholic. So I think it depends in the countries.
Tuba, what do you think?
I have no experience about this topic in here, but when I was in Italy, I have same experience. Are you Muslim? Why, something like this? But I think this topic is not about just Lithuania, it's the whole country, or actually not country, it's about the person. Because, for example, in here, nobody asked me my religion, are you Muslim or no? Nobody didn't ask me. I think this depends on people and situation maybe.
Well, anybody else who would like to express their experiences in Lithuania or in another country? If no, I will jump to the other question. How do you find yourself in the community right now? Are you accepted by locals, or are you still trying to fit in? Or how was the process of fitting in?
It's a very hard question actually. If I need to say, it's really hard to fit in the community. I felt in Lithuania because I have been to other countries as well, but to fit in, maybe the main reason is a language barrier, and second reason is an understanding of different culture. But what I felt is, but I don't know why, and because I don't have much touch with Lithuanians, mostly in the career-wise or professional-wise. I'm in touch with the people of Lithuania during our work time or some leisure time. We are actually fits in with communication and everything. But rather than that, if I go to some remote places or like other countries, they invite some people to stay in or to go out. So I don't have any strong reason, but what I feel is it's really hard to fit in the community over here in Lithuania. That's what I experienced in last five years. Thank you.
I think it depends on what do you mean by fitting in. Do you feel like you are being accepted for who you are is one thing. Do you feel like you're able to disappear into the majority crowd? It's a different thing, because physically speaking, it's not possible. Practically speaking, it's impossible for me to disappear. And one of the things I find the most difficult is actually this. Wherever we go, if there is a long weekend, a longer holiday, everybody is in Nida, Palanga, Birchnes. You meet your neighbors, in the hotel next door still. So it's like one of those things that I don't feel like defines whether I feel good or not here. I was just listening to your question, and then a few, I guess, moments sort of popped up for me. There were moments that I felt like I'm being accepted for who I am, even though it can sound funny. All of them are related to my previous job and colleagues that I've met over there. So I worked in that job for almost 3 years. One of the moments that I felt really like, yes, Kaunas is my city, is when, for those who knows Kaunas, we have this Freedom Avenue, Laisvės alėja. It's a pedestrian street, lots of cafes, bars. So then I remember walking down with my girlies, we were walking down Laisvės alėja, and we were going for lunch, like Sex and the City, we are girls, and because it's a really huge street, really spacious, Kaunas in general, very spacious, walking together. And I felt like I was being truly accepted, invited to lunch, and walking down, not like, the foreigner who joins our group, but, that's part of the group. So that was one of the moments that I really felt like, it's a bit odd, I guess, but this is one of those things like Lithuanians that I find a bit difficult is in my culture, we never let people dine alone or let people eat alone. We feel like we need to include people because eating is one of those activities where you show love. So then, when I've been working in different jobs and different offices, with different coffee rooms and sitting areas. And many of the times I find myself eating alone. And for me, this is one of those things. Therefore, being able to get invited, and then just walking down to look for something together, that feeling really made me feel like being included. And also when Lithuanian friends or colleagues invite me to meet with their own childhood friends, because Lithuanians, many of my Lithuanian friends or colleagues, they were born and raised in Kaunas. They've maybe gone away for a study exchange, but then eventually they come back, they have families. So for me as an outsider, I don't have the childhood classmates or neighbors that I've grown up with. So then it really means a lot to me when my Lithuanian friends wanted to introduce their own community and circles to me. And I really appreciate those moments where I felt like I'm truly being accepted here.
Nice to hear your experiences. Anybody else?
For me, it's like fitting in the beginning. I'm from Paparadi, so Inga knows how hard it is for a person who looks like me to fit in this place. Because, as the previously said, no matter like there's 100,000 people in Paparadi, they can see me clearly. I'm different. So it's kind of hard. But in a way, it's like if it's fitting in means like, okay, everybody knows me now and they accept me for who I am really. And if it means in that way, I think I have fit in. I fit in Paparadi pretty well now.
And how was the process when you first got here?
The process it's strange and funny and awkward. It's like people used to like stare at me for like 2-3 minutes straight when I go to like, you know, a shop or anything. They look at me like, some look really frightened, some look like curious, some look like disgusted. Like they know we are from this center, refugee center, so it's, they know like, you know, we are refugees, we don't belong here. They have that concept that we don't belong here. So they give me looks. They called me certain slangs which I didn't know the meaning in that time. I just used to smile at them, but then later I knew that what they really meant. So, but it was really hard. But gradually, when they got to know me, like, I'm a person who loves to make conversation and talk to people and know things. I'm curious about everything. So slowly, when they got to know me a lot, now when I go in Papua, they don't know me by my name, but they always call me Sri Lanka. How are you? How are you doing? So it's kind of, I think I have fitted it. Like it's a gradually slow process, but it took me 3 years. So I think now they know me for who I am actually. So I have some pretty good friends over here.
I want to add a bit to Darshan's story. Julie talking about Kaunas, and Darshan can to show a bit different Lithuania. Darshan, which language did you learn at first?
I am really sorry, Inga, because
no,
Lithuanian is the hardest language in the world for me.
I'm not blaming at this time. I'm not blaming you. Just
I learned Russian quicker than Lithuanian.
Yes, Lithuania, it's a bit different. For example, Julie is talking about Kaunas. Yes, Kaunas have differences from Vilnius, and I think Gargždai have differences as well from Kaunas or Vilnius. But for example, in Lithuania, especially in Vilnius district, in Švenčionys, or in that part, I don't know, I think it should to be west. A lot of people talking only in Russian, and we have Lithuanians, native Lithuanians, who doesn't know Lithuanian language. So my suggestion, don't feel stressed if your pronunciation of Lithuanian is bad, because other Lithuanians do not know any word of Lithuanian.
Ačiū.
So students, how do you find yourself in the community? What do you think?
There is always the Erasmus bubble, and it's quite easy to stay in that bubble. So I was happy to have like contact with Lithuanians in the apartment I lived before with 2 Lithuanians, but yeah, other than that, my contacts have been limited so far. So also because I've only been here for almost 3 months, but whenever I tell Lithuanians that I'm from Germany, they always react very positively. So I would say I feel very welcome.
Yeah, and you think it's also because of the Erasmus community, because they tend to embrace more people. Is that correct?
Yeah, also Erasmus people are maybe more welcoming towards foreigners than just a regular Lithuanian from some random village. Yeah, that's probably also true.
Great. Shall we move on, or would you like to add something? Okay, let's move on. Is it easy to accept the cultural and legal norms of another country? So cultural norms can be like eating while talking or talking while eating kind of thing. Or legal norms can be, I mean, you know, legal norms, laws that everybody has to obey.
I think I have two cultural shocks here. The first one, when I was in the bus, I'm just watching around also the house, and I don't know, do you have a curtain at home? Because in Turkey, it's really important, look, you have to close your window, and nobody shouldn't watch your home, but I can see everybody in room. I can watch them. Why they're not using curtain? And I asked this question to my local friend, and he told me, I don't know. We have curtain, but we don't close at the night. It's a little bit culture shock for me. The other one is one time we are eating some cultural food, and I saw small herb on my plate, and I asked, "What is this?" And they told, "Sunflower, small sunflower." And I think, how? Because a sunflower is not eatable herb for me. You can, I don't know the English name. We are eating different type of some purpose, not for the plate. This is too cultural shock for me.
Just I have to remind, we have 15 minutes left, so we can talk about this question briefly, then we will wrap the session.
I found it, well, I do smoke, and I found out about a law in Lithuania that it's not allowed to smoke on your private balcony. And I find that, like, of course, it is kind of annoying for me, but also I find it really strange that if you own property and you are still not allowed to do legal things on your private property, like, of course, I can understand that it's not possible to shoot with a gun or something, but yeah, like smoking cigarettes, I'm really surprised by that, but probably it's not. But I mean, the people do smoke in this country, so I think that's really a strange thing.
I thought that you could smoke in the balcony, but not.
I did do it, but there was like a new law now that just popped up, like I think a year ago or so. And like if someone is like calling the police or whatever, then you mustn't do it apparently.
Can I add to this?
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
We, like my household, we're very closely following this announcement. I think it's going to come into force from the new year. Next New Year. So now people are informed. They give a bit of time, a buffering time for people to get used to it. And we are following this because our neighbor downstairs is always smoking on his balcony, and his smoke is coming into our window because we live upstairs and smoke is going up. So usually what we do now, the law is not still very strictly enforced. So usually when he's smoking, my boyfriend runs to the balcony and says something to him, like a little bit of threat, but not really a threat, like, I wish you no cancer, like smoking stuff. You should not.
Sarcastic.
Yeah, or like, just the random things. So then I know this is going to happen, but actually if people are smoking, would you really call on the police just, to ruin the relationship with your neighbors? Like, I really doubt this is going to happen that way. So I don't know how it would be.
Yeah, it's just a liberal idea I have of that it's I mean, of course, I understand the fact that when you open the window, that might be a problem, actually. Yeah, that's true. So probably there's another way of communicating that than calling the police, I assume.
Yeah, so nice that I quit smoking 2 weeks ago.
Can I add to one of the cultural shocks, I guess, since I've arrived, that sort of struck me the most? I've met a lot of local people who are really, I don't know if they are homophobic, but they're just really against the idea of LGBT community. I'm Taiwanese, but I grew up in Thailand because of my family's job. So Taiwan is the first Asian countries to have legalized same-sex marriage. We have the biggest LGBT parade every year. So, and Thailand, as people know, is very welcoming, very okay for people being who they are, how they are. that being, you can live normal lives almost, even if you're a drag queen or a transgender person. And I can say this because I lived in that, I witnessed this. So for me, it was really shocking, and I didn't really know how to respond to certain comments, because of course they are opinions. This can be related to religion, it can be politically related, and it's very personal because it's ideologies. It's also to some extent beliefs. So I find those situations I find it offensive, even though it doesn't affect me, but the very extreme sort of comments that I would hear from people would make me really uncomfortable. Like if it's a group of friends and all of them seem to think certain way or making certain jokes about certain group of people, that is when I feel the most shocked. And I'm hoping that with events that you guys are doing, these kind of more openly discussing, differences. But actually, we're talking about differences, but I agree with another participant. We're actually talking also about similarities. We're also different, but then at the same time being human. So I think definitely having more conversations as such would help in this. But I'm really hoping to see some changes in this aspect, because it's for me a bit unbelievable that people can still talk like this openly, publicly, when it's obviously against certain people's rights by birth.
It takes time, but hopefully it will eventually happen. So I guess we should wrap the session. So I want you to go to slido.com and type in the code. Does everybody have access to internet browser? I hope you do. It doesn't matter. It can be your mobile phone or on your computers. Is everybody in?
Not
Oh,
yet.
sorry. Well, I managed to connect, and it sends me into an online discussion. Well, questions and answers and polls. Is that the one, right?
Yes, true. Yes. Let me start. Those who joined, can you see the question on your phones or on your browsers?
Yes, it's visible.
If you have joined, you can just briefly answer the question. What have you learned today? Yes, many people face cultural difficulties. Okay, answers coming in. For what different reasons people end up in Lithuania? So many experiences. Many people, yes. Wasn't aware of those difficulties either. Okay. Lithuania is the best country in the world. I think so, yeah, I agree. We are all different, but also the same. Yeah. Okay. Yes, a lot of people are struggling, but it's so nice to feel you that you're not alone. I hope this session helped you.
while you are writing, I will tell you, you was sharing your experiences, how you face with the cultural differences when you come here in Lithuania. I can share how I face cultural differences when I have met one person from Cuba. A few years ago, I was working with refugees and I was working in detention center. Detention center is like a jail. And I went in man's, I don't know, block. And one man from Cuba, I woke up him, he came to me, you told that Lithuanians are not smiling. Basically, they look sad or angry. You cannot even to understand what we are thinking. So I am typically Lithuanian, went to detention center, woke up one man from Cuba, and he stand up, hug me, and try to kiss me. And it was such a big cultural shock for me because, you know, you are coming to jail and some kind of prison trying to kiss you. So it's my experience.
Okay, let's move on to the second part. How would you rate the session? It's totally anonymous, so. Okay, yeah. Today we talked about stereotypes, about our struggles, and I hope everybody could learn a few things, one or two things at least. That we also we are different from each other, but we almost all share the same feelings, and everybody, no matter what their beliefs, I don't know, cultural background from they should be treated equally and as a human being. No one should face such inequalities. So thank you for joining in, and I don't know.
I know.
Thank you, everyone.
I know. You don't know, I know. Okay, so I will continue. So
yes, please.
Thank you for Asgur and for everybody of you. And actually, it was really interesting to meet you and to understand that all foreigners have different opinions and different cultures and different, I don't know, stories and so on. And the last word I will give for Ramonė from Gargždų, atviras, jaunimo, centras.
Yes, of course. Thank you very much. I just want to thank you all for participating here in our discussion. I was really surprised that so much of you participated so actively and share your own experience. So it was very interesting to hear all of you, all of your attitude, all of your thoughts. So I hope that in the future we are going to meet once again and try to continue our discussion, because it was really fun. It was really helpful and effective for all of us. Thank you very much.
Okay, so ačiū. And see you on next time.
Thanks a lot.
Thank
Bye.
you, everyone. Goodbye.
Ačiū, iki.
Bye.